Hello everyone. This is a short retelling of the film Lilo and Stitch 2025th year. A court session is being held on a spaceship of one advanced extraterrestrial civilization. A strange scientist named Jumbo has created a very small but strong creature. Experiment 626 is arguably the most powerful creation in the universe. His body withstands lasers. He is extremely strong and endowed with high intelligence, despite the fact that Jumbo considers his creation the greatest creation in the history of the universe. The rest call this creature ugly and nasty. The judge asks to prove that this creature has good qualities, but 626 just burns away from everyone around. The judge made a decision. Destroy the lab, and experiment 626 will be banished. But the little blue creature turns out to be so smart that he manages to outwit the turrets that are aimed at his genetic code. He hijacks a small manned module and heads to planet Earth. It lands on the Hawaiian Islands. The head of the alien race is going to solve the problem by destroying the creature along with the entire planet. But Jumbo persuades them to give him 24 hours to catch 626. He is partnered with an Earth expert named Plickly. Time has passed. Now they have to figure out how to catch this creature.
And this is not an easy task. On a small island, a little girl named Lilo has fun to the fullest. She bathes in the hotel jacuzzi, releases a chicken from prison, and comes to a local performance where she has to dance with other girls. The other girls think she's weird and don't want to be friends with her. Lilo doesn't have any friends her age. Her older sister, Nani, is struggling to make it to the performance, but as always, she is late. Lilo is upset about it. To all this, during the performance, one of the girls pushes and Lilo pushes her down from the stage in response.
For this, Lilo is scolded and kicked out of the dance club. Lilo goes home alone and locks herself in the house. She is offended by her sister, who is the guardian. Nani does not really cope with the role of a mother. She can't work, keep an eye on the house, and her sister. And as luck would have it, it is on this day that an inspector arrives, who must check whether Nani can perform the duties of a guardian. The house is a complete mess, there is no food, unpaid bills, and Lilo behaves very badly because she is offended by her sister. She doesn't understand that she can be taken to another family. Miss Keiko turns out to be a kind woman, and she gives 1 week and a to-do list for Nani so that Lilo stays at home. After the inspector leaves, the sisters start fighting with each other. After they are visited by Lilo's only friend, a neighbor named Tutu, she gives Nana advice and says that she needs to go to study at the Swimmers Academy, where she applied before her parents died. But Nani can't leave her sister. By evening, Lilo and Nani reconcile, and Lilo notices a shooting star. She makes a wish. She just needs a good friend who will become a family for her. But it was not a star, but experiment 626, which accidentally broke the navigation and fell on the island. Jumbo and Plickly are flying right behind him. At this time, the little creature gets to the wedding and intends to eat the whole wedding cake. For the sake of his goal, he puts on a real show with the destruction of everything he touches. But the main thing is that the goal was fulfilled. After eating enough, he gets on the roadway and is hit by a bus. The creature loses consciousness. In the morning, Plickly and Jumbo arrive on Earth, and in order to not give themselves away, they change their appearance. Now it is impossible to distinguish them from people. Well, almost. They rent a hotel room and go in search of experiment 626. He, by the way, has meanwhile been placed behind bars, or rather in a shelter for stray dogs. People thought it was some unknown breed of dog or animal. He very quickly gets out of the trap and is about to leave this place, but he is attacked by his creator. At this time, Lilo also comes to the shelter to pet the dogs and feed them sweets. 626 turns out to be very smart, and he knows that Jambas and Plickly cannot harm people. Therefore, 626 betrays its presence. He hides his second pair of hands, mustaches, and pretends to be a cute dog in front of a girl who also talks. Lilo thinks that her wishes come true, and now she has a new, real friend. She picks him up from the orphanage.
And Nana doesn't like the fact that Lilo brought home a strange blue dog. She's afraid he might screw up. Her fears are not in vain. 626 is a mischief maker who likes to indulge in learning new things. At this time, secret agents led by Agent Cobra are staying at the crash site of an unknown flying object. Nani goes to work
and Lila stays with her new friend, and they start having fun. It turns out that 626 is a mischief maker, and together they smash the beach, play catch-up, and swim in the jacuzzi. Nani takes them both to work with her, and at that moment, Lila comes up with a name for her new friend, Stitch. They have fun together and are not going to sit still. Because of this, Nani is reprimanded, and after the arranged pogrom, she is fired. Lila understands that they have overdone the games, but Stitch finds it difficult to understand why both sisters are upset. At this time, Jumbo and Plickly are trying to catch the escaped experiment, but something constantly interferes with them. Agent Cobra is also watching the blue beast. At home, Stitch starts destroying everything again. He thinks it's funny. Lilo tries to calm him down, but Nani has already lost her temper. The inspector is coming soon, and he can take Lila to a new family.
She says Stitch will have to go back to the orphanage, but Lilo has already fallen in love with a new friend and says that they are about Hana, and Hana means family. In the room, Lilu explains to Stitch that you can't always have fun. She explains to the little alien what Ohana is, and that the family needs to respect other people's orders. Stitch realized that he was wrong and that he had inconvenienced the new family. He decided to change and start helping, not having fun. The inspection arrives in the morning. An undercover Cobra agent decides to observe an alien creature. Inspector Keiko gives Nana a day to find a new job, and Stitch and Lilo have to help her with this. But no matter how Lila teaches Stitch, he still does not do well, although he really tried. Because of this, Nani does not manage to get a job. A guy named David, who is in love with Nani, offers everyone to distract themselves and do what Nani really loves and knows how to do, surfing. Lilo and Stitch also join surfing, but Jumbo and Plickly are already on their tail. Agent Cobra notices this. He calls the capture group. Jumbo shoots Stitch with a dart, but hits the armband. Lilo and Stitch fall off the board into the water. Stitch is afraid of water and begins to climb on Lila, thereby preventing her from surfacing. Nani doesn't have time to push Stitch away and pull her sister out. Lila wakes up and is released in the hospital.
However, she does not have medical insurance, which is why custody can take the girl away. At this time, the two detectives are contacted by the authorities, and they are informed that the time is up. The head of the aliens orders Quickly to arrest Jamba and return to the ship. But Jumbo is not going to give up. He needs Experiment 626 to seize power and rule the entire universe. Nanya says Stitch has no place in their family because he destroys everything. But Lila reminds her sister what Ohana means and that he is a member of their family. Stitch hears this conversation and realizes that she is wrong. He's going back to the shelter. Lila finds Stitch and explains to him that Hana and everything in the family is not always perfect. They hug, but Jamba comes and uses his gun. Stitch fights back, and thanks to the teleporter cannon, they all end up at home, and Jamba takes his real form. He starts destroying houses, says he can get 626 back because he's too humanized, and people act very strangely when they get attached to each other. He doesn't understand what Hana is, and therefore will be able to catch him. Lila is not afraid of the alien, and tells him not to touch his parents' room. Stitch attacks his creator and wins during the fight, but Jamba decides to go the other way. He says that Stitch brings this family nothing but troubles, and therefore, if he loves the girl, he will go with him to the ship.
Stitch realizes that this is true and agrees to go for the sake of Lilo and his new family. The house collapses, and Stitch sees only how Lila falls under the blockage. But in fact, she secretly made her way to the ship thanks to the same teleportation cannon. But so far, no one knows about it. Nani, a kind neighbor, and David arrive at the house. They meet Plickly there in his real form, and Agent Cobra detains him. Plickly says that he is not dangerous and can help find Jumba, but does not persuade Agent Cobra to let the alien go and help them find Lila and Stitch. Jumba does not have time to leave the planet and even fly far away, as Lila disables navigation, just like Stitch, not knowing where to press. Jumba is thrown into the open ocean, and Lila and Stitch fall into the water, but Stitch can't swim. It stays at the bottom. Nani notices how the ship crashed and goes to help. She picks up Lila and then swims for Stitch. They pull him ashore and use the machine battery to resuscitate the alien. Stitch comes to his senses and is very happy to see all his guards. He takes out of his mouth a photo of Lilo's mom and dad, which he managed to save before the house collapsed.
But the moment is interrupted by the head of the aliens, who personally arrive to pick up Stitch. Flickley and Agent Cobra promise that no one will know the simple existence of the aliens, and the aliens allow Stitch to remain in exile on planet Earth. What will happen to custody? A kind neighbor decides to become a guardian for Lilo, so that she could not go to work in her profession as her parents wanted. Lilo asks Nani to take this step, because now she will not be lonely. She has a Stitch that will always protect her and be there for her. She won't be coming to visit for the weekend. So this movie is coming to an end. Write your opinion about him in the comments, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel so as not to miss new retellings.